The following is a 5-minute presentation, part 1 of the teacher work sample, Reflective Practice, Responsive Teaching. What is a teacher work sample? The teacher work sample provides substantial evidence that you as a teaching candidate are ready to begin your professional career as an educator. The development of a teacher work sample will provide you with an authentic experience designed to develop in you a teacher's way of thinking. In other words, in your future career, the systematic development of a teacher work sample may not happen again in a formal, written manner. However, very importantly, it will create a professional habit of mind where, as an educator, you will naturally think about the 7 processes of the teacher work sample as a matter of best practice. What are some of the resources for writing a teacher work sample? We have 2, and one of them is extremely filled with many different examples. The first is the Teacher Work Sample Manual for teacher candidates. There are tips and prompts for preparing the teacher work sample in each of the 7 categories. Also, there are annotated examples of actual teacher work samples at this website, and they include comments made by actual instructors responding to the teacher work sample. Let's take a look at the teacher work sample and how it relates to our conceptual framework. You remember in our conceptual framework we have content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, professional dispositions, and learning communities. So a teacher work sample has as a primary focus improving student learning. It contains 7 teaching processes identified by research and best practice as fundamental to improving student learning. With this focus on student learning, there is a reflective piece where the teacher work sample provides you with an opportunity to, in an organized way, reflect upon reasons for the success or failure of your students in attaining the learning objectives that you have designed for them. Also, with the focus on improving student learning, there is a professional response, and this teacher work sample documents pedagogically sound, responsive teaching to the needs of the individual students. So let's take a look at the teacher work sample and our own conceptual framework. If we take a look at the content knowledge part of our conceptual framework, in the actual teacher work sample we have content knowledge, curriculum framework, GLICs, and Huskies. We also have the learning communities right here, learning communities through an exploration of the contextual factors that you'll be finding yourself teaching within. In terms of our pedagogical knowledge from our conceptual framework, the teacher work sample requires that you demonstrate your learning objectives, have an assessment plan, a design for instruction, a part on your instructional decision-making as you teach, and an analysis of student learning. And analysis implying why students learned, why they didn't learn. So, also it includes the professional dispositions because the teacher work sample requires that you produce a reflection and is a reflection of your own work ethic and professional skills, attitudes, and knowledge you have obtained during your pre-service career. Let's take a look at the 7 teaching standards to be documented in the teacher work sample. They're listed here for you to look at, and we'll go through them individually as well. Number 1 is the contextual factors. Every teacher teaches within a context, so we have to know the information about our teaching context and learning context. So we need to know about student individual differences in order to set learning goals and plan instruction and assessment. So we need to know something about the community, school, and classroom, about specific characteristics of students, about the students' varied approaches to learning, about the students' skills in prior learning, and also, taken as a whole, what are the implications then for instructional planning and assessment? You are very familiar with the learning objectives part where you set significant, challenge, varied, and appropriate learning goals and/or objectives.